Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you were with me the last video, you will know that, and you made it to the end of the last video, which if you didn't, shame on you, you will know that my CTS-V suffered some kind of failure, a very cheap part that has failed and has hurt the engine. And I want you guys to relive this with me. So I'm going to take some of the footage that I had back then that I never compiled. I'm going to put it into the video now. So let's just go back to when this happened like a month ago. Today I have some bad news. So I'm just driving around and I started developing a misfire. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? And we have a plug that's been hurt. You guys can probably see it's missing a strap, which usually lends to be too much timing, and it's missing the porcelain, which is an uh-oh moment. Now what I can tell you is that I ran this thing very conservatively because it is a daily, and I ran it only at like 16.5 degrees of timing, and I even dropped it down from there, which is kind of shitty because this is the only plug that looks like this. The rest of them look perfectly fine. And I have this really bad feeling that my new engine is going to be trashed. So the car is in the shop right now, and we're going to pull the heads. The only thing that I think that could have happened for this is I believe that maybe one of my ID 1300 injectors was messing up, because nothing else really makes sense. So the reason why I think that one of my ID injectors was crapping out is because now we measure the air-fuel ratio on both banks, and you can see in the top end here started getting some kind of split, almost a half a point. Now let's say that an injector is taking a dump in the top end. This is like one of four. So the spread in this one could be, a 13 flat air-fuel ratio in one of these cylinders, where the rest of them are bringing it back down to an 11.5. And I'm kind of wondering if this has happened. That little spread in air-fuel is usually nothing, but in this case, in hindsight, it's looking like it might have been something. So we're going to pull the head off right now, and we're going to see if we have any damage. I'm kind of expecting it because it sounds like there is a skip in compression. As you guys can probably tell, I'm a little upset at the moment because I feel like I know what we're going to find any second now. But here's to hoping for good things. Well, the guys have given me the bad news that there is some damage. So I'm going to show you guys on the head real quick. Let me turn on the light. So on the head, we see, everything looking kind of okay. And then this guy has got some damage to it. Nothing too crazy. It's not like destroyed. Possibly hanging the exhaust valve open a hair, which might be why we seem to have a skip in compression, when trying to crank it. But definitely some damage. And then when we get into the meat and potatoes of it, we have good cylinder, good cylinder, good cylinder, trash. The cylinder walls seem all fine. I don't feel anything wrong there. So it looks like it just needs a piston. And a different set of heads, and we're going to get these injectors tested for sure. But this is really a setback. The rest of the plugs, seem to, look fine. Yeah, I think that we have a weird, probably a little lean on that particular cylinder, maybe the injector, and the porcelain cracked and popped out, and here we are. Well, so we're going to try to turn lemons into lemonade. Instead of getting that one piston fixed and, getting a different set of heads on it and, getting those injectors fixed. We're just going to go really far down the rabbit hole. And I'll probably get this piston fixed, keep this engine as a backup or sell it. See what happens. I have a better plan for you guys. You know how the Corvette was supposed to be Project Snowball? Well, welcome to Project Wagon Snowball. And this one, what we're going to do is we are going to send an engine off to Texas Speed, an LSA engine. So one of the best blocks that you can modify. And we are going to add, what are we going to do? We're going to add sleeves to it and make it something ridiculous. And then we're going to do the PRC 260cc heads, or 260 whatever heads. I can't remember. The ones that are on the Freedom Rocket. We're going to take those heads, we're going to put them on my wagon, and what are we going to do after that? Well, just so you guys know, we are going to add the Kong 2650 blower and lid and turn this motherfucker up because this shit. Sorry about that. I'm a little angry. I'm a little upset because this thing was down for a year and a half and it's like stupid shit has killed it. Not really killed it, but like it's a piston and like head swap away from being back up and running, which is a lot of work, and I'm upset it's going to be down for a little bit longer while this happens. It's probably going to be pushed into the corner for at least 2 months now because it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks, somewhere like that, based on Texas Speed's estimate on how quickly I can get this engine, to me and get back and rocking on it. Oh, and we're also going to do half-inch head studs on it. So it's going to be a sleeved LSA block with half-inch head studs. Not sure about the cubic inches yet. Trying to figure that one out. I'm debating between sticking with stock cubes and revving the snot out of it. Not stock, but like 387. So stock stroke, 4.125-inch pistons, and just revving the snot out of it, or just going with a 427 and not revving the snot out of it. You guys tell me what you're thinking in the comments below, because I'm still open to suggestions, but yeah, I feel like stock stroke might do me better. Because even though we're going to turn this thing up, I still wanted to be a daily driver because I really like driving it, and it's the only sports car of mine that can fit my entire family. So I'm really, really disappointed right now that whatever has happened, we got bit with. This was low timing. I was running 16.5 degrees of timing on the dyno when I ran 715, and that 715 picked up like 30-some horsepower over the 2 degrees. It's a 2-degree change, and it picked up over 30 horsepower. So going to 600, or going from 687 to 715, I think that's what it was on 2 degrees. I think that was a good gain. And then I made it more conservative for the street so I wouldn't blow it the f*** up. And here we are. What the f***? This is Mike's fault. This definitely Mike's fault. So this is the fun with race cars. Even stupid can happen. And here we are. Stupid has happened. And we're going to make the best out of it. I think I'm kind of happy that it didn't happen on a super duper build, and it was a cheap build, because this was definitely a cheap build. This was like used. It was a used set of heads, a used set of rods. I tried to use a used set of pistons. It was a used block. It was a lot of used stuff that I tried to like make work, and it didn't work out. So like it didn't work out. So like that, I didn't spend a lot of money to have it trashed, but now luckily Texas Speed is gonna take care of me, and just help get me back on the road. Unfortunately, I asked if I could butt in front of people so I could get this thing faster, and they said they're too busy. So I can't even. I buy engines upon engines for all the stuff that we do in here, and I can't even butt in front of the line to get a built engine, so it's going to be down for a little bit. Luckily, I'll have a C8, by then, and you know, you guys will still get some good content.
Well, so we made plans, and then coronavirus hit. And the plans got all trashed. You guys heard the plans were a big build. It was going to be awesome. And coronavirus came in and basically said, no, you need to be responsible. You can't go spending, you know, $12,000+ on a super duper engine here for this car that you don't really need to do that. You just want this thing to be a daily driver. You could go back. So I've been reevaluating, and we decided to do a budget build. Again, because this was a budget build, but this was like a hacked up budget build. In hindsight, I should have done a better budget build. So this time we're thinking, let's do a budget build. It's amazing, $3 part. I mean, I could get this one, you know, built, but I think that financially it makes sense if I just repair this one, and then either keep it for a different project as a backup, or sell it, you know, fixed and, you know, 100%. And, you know, that's kind of, you know, what I decided. So the plan, you know, unsnowballed to a budget build, and I was talking to Texas Speed, and there was this like light that went off. I don't know what happened, but somebody was looking out for me there, because they got a lightly used sleeved 5.3 liter block in there with 1/2-inch head studs. Just basically everything that I wanted. They got that there, and they wanted my CTS-V block in exchange. And the only difference here is I'm going to lose the piston squirters, but I'll get all the cool stuff that I really wanted: the strength of the sleeves, and then the 1/2-inch head studs to hold those heads down when we throw a Kong 2650 on. And now it's just a rotating assembly away. And with what I mean, we've done a lot of business, but I'm really thankful, because I gotta admit that this time I've really been taken care of. They're hooking me up with a good rotating assembly for a really good price. I know it's a slightly used block, but it's going to get honed or bored or whatever needs to get a new rotating assembly in there, and that puts me back in budget for a super duper build. So we're doing a super duper build again. I don't know, the Freedom Rocket heads are already gone. They're out of here, but we'll figure out what heads we want to put on. It's going to be 6 to 8 weeks still, so even though they had a block in there, they still have, you know, work to do on the block, and they still put me in the line. So it's 6 to 8 weeks, probably longer given, you know, how everything's going, and we'll see what happens. By then, maybe things will turn around enough that I'll feel confident. Instead of throwing a set of stock LSAs on, maybe it'll be you know, the PRC heads. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. That's kind of what I want to do, and then go nuts with the Kong 2650 and his lid, and, you know, really go just like make the wagon some car to be feared. That's kind of what I want to do, but still be a wonderful daily driver. But again, thank you, Texas Speed, for hooking that up. Things really took a curveball there. I was a little depressed, and now we're back in the game time, and I'm really excited. So thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this update on the wagon, because it is a doozy of an update how a $3 part can make ridiculous stuff like this happen. Maybe it was the injector. I don't know. We'll find out, you know, at some point, and I'll keep you guys posted about that. Probably when we're doing the you know, the rebuild video. So 6 to 8 months from now. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video for I think some C8 content's coming back up. Adios, guys.